everyone, welcome to Your Virtual Coffee, the web show which introduces you to great local businesses in the Denver metro area. Today, my guest is Cathy Keeler, who heads up FullScope Fractionals. She has assembled a team of elite experts spanning all pillars of executive management to promote as a collective. These management experts step into organizations on a part-time, interim, or project basis at a fraction of the cost of a full-time executive. Cathy is uniquely positioned as she is excellent at making cold calls. Oh, girl, just that. People will love you for that. And even finds it fun, which we will definitely discuss that. She spent years selling complex software exclusively by making cold calls to C-level executives at billion-dollar-plus organizations. She learned how to take those opportunities from cold call to close, making her a full-cycle salesperson. Cathy wholeheartedly believes that fractional executives are the future for startups, high-growth companies, as well as those who are limping along with short runways in front of them. And with that, Cathy, welcome to my show.
Gina, hello, and thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting for me. It really is. I love what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I have a heart for the local business community here in Denver, so I'm glad that you could come on here. So Cathy, I like for my audience to kind of get to know my guest on a personal level. What are your hobbies? I mean, besides making cold calls, what are your hobbies?
So, well, I like to do as many outdoor activities with my kiddos who are now 16 and 17. So our big thing, our unique thing in Colorado, because we do all the stuff that everybody does, the hiking and the biking, and we like to do a lot of that along the creeks. But uniquely, what we love to do, and we love to introduce these things to our friends, we love to go tubing. Tubing in the summer, we'll go big, but depending on who's with us, we might go small too, right?
Right.
So in terms of danger, we never do like Cat 5, but we do like the whole experience, and the sound of the water and the relaxation gives us a chance to really relax and enjoy each other. And then when winter hits, we do the same thing on snow down the hill. And we like to find secret places in the mountains where it's just us, right? And we're doing the hiking up and we're doing the tubing down. Very fun.
Oh, I love that. Now, speaking of cold calls, I really need you to tell my audience why you enjoy doing them so much.
Yeah, great question. I mean, pretty much nobody likes to make cold calls. How about that? Like, when I say that to anybody in any crowd, when I'm ever introducing myself and I say I make cold calls, say in a networking event, or if I'm looking for a new client, I get swarmed. I just say I make cold calls. I don't get to the part where I say I'm good at it. I don't even get to the part where I say it's fun for me. I just get swarmed because nobody likes to do it. So that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And so what do I get out of it? What makes it fun for me? It's because when I get somebody to pick up, right, I have a very high chance of having a conversation with that person, or scheduling another conversation with that person. And I wind up learning all day long about new companies and what they're doing. And I go through that deep discovery with these folks over many, many phone calls, whereby it allows me to front load my pipeline without actually jamming something down people's throats, right? Without really that high pressure sales, which you see from, well, I see it all the time, when I need to purchase software or a new CRM or whatever. And, wow, it's, their sales process is totally different with very low level folks trying to sell pretty big stuff. So it's been great for me. It's every single day I'm meeting new people and learning more. That's what it is. That's what it means to me.
Well, how did you get started in business development, leads generation, this type of stuff?
Sure. So I had a whole career in healthcare prior to working for software. However, I was traveling a massive amount, minimum like 2 weeks a month, which I adored, absolutely adored it. I never got sick of it. I loved it. But then I had kids and I didn't have any family in the area. So, and my babysitters only spoke Spanish. So I had to find another path, which led me to selling software here in Boulder, because you could reach that level if you were good and you worked hard, which is what I did. And I was working with kids half my age that are internet natives, and I can just pull in a little help here and there when I need help with whatever it is, because I'm old, right? So just had an absolute ball with it. Love the competitive spirit of these offices, and enjoyed the company of and the camaraderie of having other people around.
Well, for that business owner out there who is just really struggling, what keeps that client up at night? And how does FullScope Fractional Services solve that issue?
Such a good question, Gina. So business owners, I'm among them, we stay up late at night because one reason is we're too busy. Like I'll cast a wide net, and all of a sudden, to all these PhDs and TED Talk speakers and keynote speakers and authors, and they all come back and want to engage. So all of a sudden I've cast too wide of a net, and I'm so busy that I'm just working way too many hours. And so I've been able to pull in my fractional executives to help me. And the ways in which they help me insulate me as a business owner. And it allows me to promote their offerings to business owners that are struggling in so many different ways. And you don't learn that from one phone call. You just don't. It's a series of getting to know the people and, learning what they're doing and how they're doing it and where they're struggling. So they may, for example, they were doing their own book. I can tell you this. I was doing my own books. I started with a paper ledger. Then I moved to Excel. Then I had to move to QuickBooks. And I have a bookkeeper. But guess what? I really need a CFO. But I also don't have $350,000 in my back pocket to hire a really good CFO. So my CFO that I promote is my CFO. So he helps me figure out what direction I want to go next. What can I afford to do? And how can we monetize this thing better? That's just giving you an example. So I know lots of people out there that do not have a $350,000 CFO, right? And I could say that about any of the categories. So that's, as they're expanding, they know that there is this option out there for them to offload some of the stuff that they're doing. They're not experts at being a CFO, or they're not experts in, IT security, or they don't know how to build the software, but they have the ideas in their head. That's how I can promote each of these folks. It's really working out well. When a business owner actually this is what we're learning, one of the side benefits, when these business owners are having positive experiences with one of our team members, they're coming back to say, you know what, that was a great experience. Now I feel like I could talk about this or this or this. And I'll say, well, when's the last time you had somebody look at your legal agreements, by the way? Or have you actually assessed your IT environment lately? Because Andrew over here at Analytics Computers and TJ over here at Analytics Computers will allow me to give you products that I could sell for hundreds of dollars to just see if your organization has been breached, for example. So there's all kinds of ways when I'm hearing something, or I'll ask a few questions, they'll say, guess what? Here's what we can do for you right now. I'll do an introduction. We'll do an assessment that's not going to cost you anything. Then you're going to have peace of mind moving in on a small short-term basis, like no long-term commitments. There's so many ways we can do it when we identify a need of a business owner.
Now, Cathy, I would like to talk about power partners. And for our audience, power partners are those businesses who target your same ideal client but are not your competition. One example I like to use is a realtor and a mortgage broker. Both of them have the ideal client of a future homeowner, but they don't compete with one another. It's a really great business relationship to set up because you can probably trade referrals or even get to work together on a particular deal. So Cathy, with that incredibly long-winded explanation as to what a power partner is, let's get an idea of who your ideal client is. So who is FullScope Fractional Services' ideal client?
So our ideal clients are not only business leaders that have small gaps or they're ready to offload that functionality to someone who's an expert in that field, right? Not only those folks. Also, and I thought it was too early for us, by the way, it's not. Investors, angel investors, PE, VC. I thought I would have to really prove myself. These folks love what we're doing. They love the model because they're giving oodles of money to startups, and they want to make sure that those folks have the right foot forward, that they are just set with no gaps. Okay, so that's happening quickly. I'm also doing a great deal of work with folks that are power networkers, right? The folks that are going to all the network meetings and they're meeting lots of folks, because what they're telling me, and even salespeople that I talk to, what this model affords them is a reason to call their clients and their friends and add value, right? It's giving them a reason to reach out. Hey, I talked to this woman that's assembled this team, and I feel like you might be in a position to talk to these folks about, your network security. I know you just had that breach. You're dealing with malware. It's very costly. She's offering some alternatives here. You might want to talk to her. So folks are, I haven't had a bad call. So, before, if I'm just selling one product or even 15 or 22 software products, they still may not need any of that. In this case, in my calls, I mostly have to explain what a fractional executive is to them. But once we get over that hump, they're like, oh, okay. And then I bring them to the website and then I show them the team. They give me the chance to talk about just about everybody that's on the roster. They ask lots of questions, and that's how we progress. So I can't even remember what your question was anymore because I get so excited about what I'm doing. If I didn't answer it completely, definitely tell me.
Well, we got into actually kind of a hybrid of both my last question and my next question, but we were talking about who your ideal client was.
Right. So this is funny even because when I'm talking to people and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you are doing something so cool. I've never heard of that. I never even thought of that. And I'm always thinking in the back of my head, gosh, I could sell that too. Oh boy, could I sell that? And some of these are pre-revenue folks that are still looking for their funding, right? So I'm building a little front-loading my pipeline that way. But so what's happened is I've taken some of these folks and really tried to make them into a fractional executive, right? And they're not really. Like my favorite printer who's right here in town, Jason Bushman at Postnet, he's like, Cathy, I'm not really a C-level. And I'm like, you know what? I can sell your stuff. I'm going to make you my chief fractional printing officer. And, they start laughing. But what we need to do is some of these companies I'm actually going to promote alongside the true fractional executives. Now we're just about to make a second page on our website that we're calling our business acceleration partners, right? And so those folks that aren't true fractional executives, but they have complementary offerings, they have the same exact target audience. So why make two calls when I could just make the same call and promote them all as a collective? And really, like, it actually enhances the telephone call. It enhances the conversation. So that's what we're doing. You'll see a little switch if you look at my website within the next week that we've got fractional executives and power partners. So it's really a good question for me. because power partners to us are very important.
Oh, definitely. And what's interesting about your power partners is that they also could be part of your fractional team.
Correct. Yep. I tried to squeeze them in, but we're going to separate them and we're going to promote them together.
And so, marketing firms, staffing firms, managed exactly, managed service providers. I'm also thinking business attorneys, depending on what state. Like for Colorado, you would need a Colorado attorney. Outside Colorado, you would need an attorney that's licensed in that state. But let's say if we just stuck for right now to Colorado, definitely someone who understands formation, who understands tax consequences of forming an entity. I think that would definitely be a great power partner for you. All right. So that business owner has just heard all the wonderful stuff that you offer.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
The best way to reach me, right through the website, FullScopeFractionals.com. My email address, my ELU is Cathy, Cathy, at elubizdev.com. That's ELUBIZ as in zipper, DEV as in Victor.com, like business development, elubizdev. And they can certainly call me at 970-405-0691.
And we will include this information at the end of the video, along with who your ideal client is and power partners.
Super.
So any last thoughts for the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So I absolutely forgot to tell you that my favorite hobby these days are to watch Gina Ventola's YouTube videos. And I like it. I subscribe to it. I'm seeing them when I go to YouTube, and they're really, I am learning a lot. I want to reach out to those folks. And I already know TJ Bruning. He did a great job talking about his company and plugging his company. So that's really an interesting thing. I think people should go to your website. But I also think that if anybody that is watching this right now knows anybody in their own personal network that could use a little boost of executive management in one area or another, then we should talk. And I look forward to that. And Gina, you're amazing. Seriously love everything you're doing. I aspire to be more like you. And I really appreciate everything you're doing.
You're so awesome. To the audience, I swear I did not put her up to doing that. We talked about it off camera. But yes, we like it when people subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Woo!
Cathy, thank you so much for joining me on my show today.
Gina, always love chatting with you. I can't wait to work with you more. And well, have a wonderful week.
Awesome. Audience, thank you for joining us today on your virtual coffee. We could not do the show without you. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hear it's quite fun to watch. At your virtual coffee, we love business professionals, as does FullScope Fractional Services. So business people, let's talk. Bye, everyone. Woo! Your Virtual Coffee is sponsored by Ventola Law. Ventola Law, mediation and legal representation at an expert level. You can find them at ventolalaw.com. Thanks for joining me today. For more information on Your Virtual Coffee, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and wait for it, our website at yourvirtualcoffee.com. Thanks again for watching, and have an incredible day.